We're live. Here we go. Well, g'day everyone. I'm Wes Leake from Business Blessings, and today we're doing a quick interview with Marg Aspin from the Aspin Group. G'day, Marg. It's great to have you on.
G'day. It's just fantastic to be in Facebook Live today. It's really super to talk to you as well, Wes, as usual.
As usual, yes. So we the two of us have quite a history, which is really great. We do a lot of things together, including some of the co-starter stuff that we work on together, and we work with TAFE and those kind of things. Marg, quickly tell us a bit about what you do, because you have fingers in a lot of pies.
Yes, certainly. So I've been a serial entrepreneur since 2003, and that means that I've set up a few different companies. I've sold one, sort of used all sorts of different vehicles in business. But before then, I was in the federal government. And before that, I was a senior manager at what's now Melbourne Polytechnic down south. So nowadays, it's a very interesting thing to have that combination of understanding education, training, government, as well as business, has led me into this interesting thing like Wes. We've been working a lot with TAFE Queensland as far as small business solutions, so mentoring businesses so they can get to the next stage of their growth and fix things that are bung. And also co-starters, we're working in a big co-starters team, which is really for people who are doing something a bit new, a new business, or maybe adding a new product or service, or maybe they're thinking about starting up a social enterprise, which is for some sort of cause. And that's really where we're working. But I'm also a university lecturer, Wes, as you know. I'm a university lecturer who has a postgrad group in entrepreneurship. So I suppose it's very interesting how your whole life moves on in different ways, and different skills are picked up at different stages of your life. But nowadays, one of the things that we've been talking about is people do call me the grants queen. Not the princess anymore, for obvious reasons, but apparently I'm a grants queen. There you go.
Okay. So the reason why we're talking about this particular topic today, Marg, is because on the 12th of May, we're doing our next Brisbane Citywide Christian Business Breakfast. And the topic is business, government, and the supernatural, which is interesting to put those together. So we've got Fiona Simpson, who is the Shadow Minister for Small Business, coming to speak at the breakfast.
Wonderful.
But then at the workshop, I wanted to actually, because it's one thing to work with government, and one of the ways we work with government is that we actually take their money and to do what they want to do. So they outsource, if you like, and that's what the government grants are about, really. They're outsourcing their things. But you have obtained a lot of grants. Like, you seem to sneeze and obtain a government grant.
Yeah.
But that's because you know the background and things. So yes,
that's right. That's right.
Tell us a bit about.
Yeah, that's right. You need to understand that it's when you're going for grants, particularly when we're talking business, anything to do around business. It's not like charity. It's not like saying, there's a real need for people to have money and give me money and I'll make something happen. Really, when you're going for a grant, you need to have a very convincing argument, and rather than a sob story. So a convincing argument looks at stats and all those sorts of figures. It looks that you've done your research. You are really good at putting together a great plan, a project plan. It's quite clear you're the right person or the right organisation, the right business to do this and get the right outcomes. You understand all about outcomes. So what they're looking for when you put in a grant application is your ability to run a project successfully and come up with the goods that you say is you need to do. And that is where people fall down. So quite often they talk about how wonderful their business is, or they talk about how great the need is, but they don't then take it into the nitty-gritty of exactly when, how, why, what, how much, and what will be the outcomes. So there's a particular way of writing a grant. You have to be quite a bit of a wordsmith, and you have to allow yourself to be open to other people picking it to bits and making it better so that the argument's 100% clear. That would be some of my key things that I'd say. grants at the moment in Queensland for businesses, particularly if you've got a great idea for some sort of innovation or you want to improve on some sort of thing, particularly if you're in health or tourism or maybe in advanced manufacturing of some kind, product design. Those sorts of things are getting big grants, big commercialisation grants, big help from Advanced Queensland at the moment. And I've been working very closely with the Advanced Queensland people, the Advanced Queensland team around these particular things. One of the things that I do is run the Expressway. It's a free business network that's run by the government. Regional Development Australia, TAFE Queensland, Microsoft are all involved in this particular thing, and I've been running it for about 5 or 6 years since the government asked me to do that. And so understanding who's getting the grants, why they're getting the grants and how they went about writing it, that is fabulous information for you to be incredibly successful. So it's not a case of saying the government ought to support us, it's rather how do we talk to the government and use the right sort of words that the government say this is going to make a big difference in this state.
And I think that's, so, you know, we talked about your history before, and because you've come through from the government, you understand the government speak, but because you're also an entrepreneur, you understand the entrepreneurs speak as well. So you're very uniquely gifted to do this workshop because you combine the two of them together and have your foot in both camps in that sense.
That's right. That's right. So I think it's going to be a really great morning. I mean, we have fantastic times, don't we?
Oh, we do. Yes.
They are magnificent speakers, and the people who come along, whether they be from a strong Christian background or maybe their friends who've been invited along by Christian people to these things, they get so much out of it, and there's such a buzz in the room. So it's a great way to spend time and just to give that time to your business and to give it a bit of focus, but also have a huge amount of fun.
Yes. We do that. And look, I think that was one of the points is that while we have a Christian flavour, the breakfast is open to everyone. Yeah. So we want to put that out there in doing that. So while we kind of, like the Christian market is our niche, but it's actually open to everyone doing that. And we're not going to Bible bash you, but what we're going to do, actually one of the interesting things, one of the feedback from our last breakfast was we love going to the government free workshops because the government's doing a lot of workshops, but she said, you know, your information goes to a much higher level. And I think that's one of the things about the breakfast is with the speakers that we get in, you get very real practical information that you can take away and apply it and grow your business as a result.
Yeah.
So,
and I would encourage, Wes, I'd really encourage that people go into partnerships in grants because government really likes to see that you're partnering with other people as much as possible, or you found grants from somewhere else, or you're going to several different places to get the grants. So they like the idea that you're applying for several places simultaneously. And that will be a really important thing that we talk about. How do you actually put together some different businesses and make that sort of thing work? So you can go for something that's bigger, you'll all get benefit out of it, and really bring those partners along and bring those other businesses along, people that you'd like to work with, and they kind of complete you, because if it's just you going for something, it can be a little bit weaker than if you and other businesses go. So by all means, you know, bring along other companies that you've been talking to, or even competitors who might be able to offer a little bit more value there.
Marg, I think you raise a very valid point that we've got to start to think higher than what we've been thinking before. And like, I've just come from a coaching session and it just said, you know, mate, you're thinking too small. You know, if you've got something incredible, but let's take it higher. And that's what you're trying to bring across there. And it is about, the name of the game is collaboration these days. If you're not collaborating with others, the government really doesn't want to, well, I mean, they'll still talk to you, but they want to see collaboration happening across your industry and across with other businesses as well.
They sure do. And they want to know that you have been networking together for a while.
Yes.
So, you know, get together. That's what you do. Start the talking, start the dreaming. There's an innovation around every corner. Now, I have got so many stories that I could share, and I'm just going to pick a few that will give you a bit of a laugh, but also surprise you of how enterprising people have been, either on their own or when they've networked with other people. We know that when you do go to these sorts of things, this particular networking breakfast, what a wonderful opportunity it is to build trust in other people and to find out their skills and their strengths and to work out your own and put those together and come up with something that's going to be a heck of a lot better for everybody combined.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, thank you so much, Marg. So the breakfast is on Saturday, the 12th of May. So
day before Mother's Day.
The day before Mother's Day. Yeah. I know, that's right. So actually we chose that weekend because I thought there'd be people around. They won't be going away that weekend because I need to spend it with their mums. And besides that, that's when our speakers were available. So you've got to look at the practical things with that. So I'll be putting the links to register, or you can go to businessblessings.com.au and you'll see the links there. Well, thank you so much, Marg. I'm looking forward. Whenever I go to your workshops, I learn an awful lot from you. So I'm looking forward to seeing you on the day as well.
Yeah, can't wait. Okay, bye for now.